There's a few things that I'm doing. I can't talk about them yet. I signed an NDA, so I can't tell you guys, but in a few days I'm flying somewhere to go and meet with some people about something. And it's, if we can close this deal, it's going to be first, the most awesome thing I've ever done in my entire life, and also one of the most dangerous and difficult things I've ever done in my entire life.
Breaking news here in the Cardano ecosystem. We've got speculation, and that's exactly what I'm going to call it here, about a potential partnership between Charles Hoskinson, SpaceX, and the fact that Charles is now going to be leaning more into politics over the course of the coming months. So there's a lot to break down here. I'm going to be tying Charles to Elon Musk, Elon Musk to Donald Trump, and then Donald Trump to RFK, and exactly how that comes full circle with RFK tying back into Charles Hoskinson. So without any further ado, if you guys enjoy content just like this, please make sure to smash that thumbs up on the way in. This is actually my second time recording this. The first time I had some audio issues. So again, if you appreciate content like this and you want more of it, consider subscribing to the channel. And last but not least, if you have any questions or comments, please leave those down below. Now, the first thing I want to do to sort of set the stage here, as you guys just heard, Charles Hoskinson basically saying that he's currently under an NDA, or a non-disclosure agreement, meaning that whatever he's dealing with, right, he doesn't have the ability to publicly speak about it until it's actually happened. Now, shout out to Stake with Pride here, following Cardano and keeping the entire community updated, stating the fact that Charles could potentially be going to outer space with SpaceX. Now, if you guys aren't aware, SpaceX has been doing a lot of commercial launches, and they're now, I think, jumping into sort of the retail side of bringing people to the moon or into outer orbit. And so that is definitely a really solid guess here. Now, moving over, we have Charles Hoskinson on the ground, actually at the SpaceX base in California, in Hawthorne, California, to be specific. Just to confirm here, we've got this little image here with the street there in the background. And jumping back over to Charles here, we've got the same exact image here. Again, really just confirming where he's currently at following this recent tweet that came out not too long ago. Now, to wrap this all back together very briefly, if you guys have missed it, Charles has mentioned the fact that he's now looking to steer the US crypto policymakers into being more crypto friendly. Now, the way that he's planning to do that is by actually staffing an office full of members from IOG in Washington in order for them to be able to work closely with lawmakers or regulators. So states here that with Republicans likely to control the Senate, the presidency, and the House of Representatives, Charles Hoskinson currently believes that now is an ideal time to engage with lawmakers and to now begin to shape policy. As a part of his plan, his company IOG will staff a policy office in Washington by January of 2025. So literally right around the corner, as soon as Trump takes office. In closing, the office will focus on bipartisan approaches to crypto regulations, with the particular emphasis on resolving the longstanding debate over securities. Now, what's really interesting about this piece here as well is the fact that Gary Gensler, at least there's speculation that he's getting ready to head out, that there's been letters of resignation or asks of his resignation. Now, of course, that hasn't been confirmed yet, but I'll probably be breaking that down in a separate video. Again, make sure to go ahead and subscribe if you want more of that type of content. Now, what do we know so far? Again, Charles Hoskinson has that NDA, and we know that he recently visited SpaceX, and we know that he wants to play a bigger role when it comes to US politics and regulatory clarity moving forward. Next, I want to talk about Elon and exactly what we know about him, and then let's tie him back over to Charles Hoskinson. So we've got Elon Musk here, right? Founder of SpaceX. Very, very close ties to Donald Trump as a part of this last election cycle, where he basically showed up to 3 or 4 different rallies and played a really big role in, I think, Donald Trump securing the presidency this year. Now, in addition to that, Elon Musk was actually with Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate at the evening, or on the night that the presidential elections were actually going on. So really, again, showing, I think, how close those two gentlemen are. Now, following Donald Trump getting elected, Donald Trump has basically returned the favor by creating this brand new arm within the government called the Department of Government Efficiency, which is, of course, led by none other than Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, the goal of this particular group or organization is to slash excess regulations, to cut wasteful expenditures, and then to also restructure federal agencies to basically cut out all of the middlemen and to make all the government processes and arms as efficient as possible. So now that we have that there, and we have the recent announcement of Doge sort of going live, we have Sean mentioning breaking news: President Donald Trump and the upcoming Department of Government Efficiency are now exploring a federal blockchain-based election voting and identity verification system. According to sources familiar with the matter, which unfortunately he doesn't actually provide the sources here, the system will be built in partnership between X or Twitter, Cardano, Hyperledger, and Hedera. According again to the same exact sources, President Trump insists on implementing a system to eliminate voter fraud as he fears foul play in 2028. Now, granted, he can only have 2 terms anyways, so the Republicans could potentially be up to win, but it definitely won't be Donald Trump as the president in 2028. So jumping over to the next page here, we've got an interesting connection to make here with Frederick Agard, the CEO of the Cardano Foundation, breaking down the fact that they've been asked or contacted by different US states in order to begin testing, doing voting through some sort of blockchain-based solution. Now, of course, that would be leveraging Cardano. And then, of course, moving over here, we've got Charles Hoskinson posting a 43-minute video breaking down and talking about voting and identity, basically talking about how to prevent fraud, which is exactly what Donald Trump is worried about. Next, we've got an additional 27-minute video, right, discussing verified tweets. Now, this, of course, ties directly back over to Elon Musk. And if you've missed this particular bit here, Charles breaks down how we can use DIDs and different authentication methods to make sure that when a tweet goes out, that it's actually by the person that said it should have gone out by. Now, that's not all. We also have a tweet from about 6 months ago on July 16th from Charles Hoskinson directed directly at Elon Musk stating, "Elon, we need DIDs integrated into X. This basically solves all of these problems." Now, what's interesting and what actually caused all of this, right, is the fact that Ben Gertzel's Twitter account was hacked. A lot of, malicious things were said. And of course, he had to prove, right, or it would have been nice for him to be able to prove that it actually wasn't him tweeting those particular things. Now, as we get ready to close things out here, if you've missed it, this was a pretty big announcement a couple months back where we had Charles Hoskinson leaving a very, very interesting comment on a picture of Elon Musk. So Elon Musk posted the fact that he'll be hosting Donald Trump via an X space, and he did this at a friend's ranch in Wyoming. If you guys don't know, Charles actually has ranches in Wyoming, and he owns a little bit of property out there as well. So he states, "Nice ranch. I like the woodwork. The person who I assume, has bought or owns the particular ranch has good taste." So I think that was sort of an innuendo there, or a little bit of a joke, right? Coming in from Charles, teasing about why or who actually owns that particular ranch. So what do we then know about Elon? So Elon, again, is the head of the DOGE. He's got very strong ties to Trump, and he's also the founder of SpaceX, which Charles was just there literally a couple of hours ago. So the next person I want to discuss is RFK. But before I do, again, if you guys appreciate content like this, because it does take me a while to put all this together, especially something like this with so much evidence, I would appreciate if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. I do appreciate it. If you do want to take your support a step further, I am a single stake pool operator operating the Dapp Central Stake Pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. So with RFK, we know that, or at least he was running as an independent third-party member. He dropped out, and then after that ended up endorsing Trump. Now that Trump has won, he's actually put him in, I believe, charge of some of the health related items. Now, in addition to that, we know that RFK has really close ties to Charles Hoskinson there as well, with him recently attending Rare Evo and actually having a virtual chat with him. And then there were a couple of times where we've seen them actually pictured together. Now, we've got a gentleman here named Gordon who doesn't actually provide any sources, but he states, if you knew what exactly was about to be announced regarding Cardano, your mind would be blown. So again, a lot of speculation here, nothing officially confirmed. However, there's a lot of dots beginning to connect in my personal eyes. Let me know what you guys think down below. As we get ready to wrap up here, I do want to quickly highlight the fact that Charles has been a lot more positive as of late. And there's been 2 tweets here, which I think will actually be captured in separate videos here on the channel. So the first, with him interacting with Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple or XRP, stating that he's extremely collaborative and that he's excited to see exactly what the future holds. Now, my personal thinking here is that if Charles ends up, doing anything with Brad, there could potentially be some sort of stable coin coming to the ecosystem. He has vowed that he wanted to provide as many options as possible. A lot of people are currently focusing on USDT or USDC, but Charles is open to, I believe, all of them, including homegrown stable coins there as well. So this is definitely something that I'll be keeping an eye out on. And if you've missed it, Charles recently actually apologized to the XRP community for bashing them. He's also apologized to the Bitcoin community in the maxis, as well as the Solana community. So Charles really taking a different approach here. And the very last thing I want to read is basically him talking about how we can all do so much more, right, when we're united, stating, what's unstoppable? When the entire crypto space comes together and unifies to take an industry or the industry to the next level, we won't stop for rest until there's a billion users on blockchain. So that will do it here for today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Some speculation, nothing officially confirmed, but there's a lot of dots finally beginning to connect, at least for me. Have I missed anything? Did you maybe catch something that I didn't? Or do you maybe disagree with something that I've mentioned here as a part of today's video? Again, if you appreciate this and you found this to be helpful, please smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.